launch. Hey. My live stream started on time.
Hey.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Let me get rid of this. It worked. I'm so happy.
Don't give me no back talk, sucker.
Hey.
Yay. And we were even
Who's up?
early.
We're in.
All
We're
right.
like even over the top of the hour.
We're so early. No one's here yet.
No one's here. Oh, they will be. We had a waiter on one of these platforms.
We had a couple of people
You
waiting.
mentioned that, so
Okay,
that's
wait,
actually
let's
that's
see.
good, right?
All right.
Yeah.
All right. No, this is good. This is good. I started it on YouTube, right? Yes, I did. Okay. Hi and welcome. Oh my God. As you're about to find out, we're sick.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pity the fool.
Yeah, I pity me in that case. Yowza. The Velveteen patented internal medicine. Well, you know, you gave me a book for, I believe, birthday last year that I've been reading ever since at work, kind of chapter by chapter, which is about the history of booze and medicine. And the fact that, like, really, historically, they've kind of been treated the same. It's like whiskey was medicinal, you know, vodka was medicinal, gin was definitely medicinal with all that stuff infused in it. And that's, so, you know, you feel ill, you take a shot, it's like, that's natural. It's really only more recent years when people say, that's bad for you. And I think, well,
Okay,
I don't know. I mean, depending, what are you doing with it? Are you trying to, like, dull the pain? It'll work.
I know.
Are you trying to, like, kill a few viruses? That's not going to work. Your body will take care of that.
That's all right. Hi, Alexandra.
Hello. Ooh,
Oh,
this looks way better
thank
than
you. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, it looks
Yes.
way better than last week because I
Oh,
fixed
geez.
the...
Yeah, you went in and
Hi, Peter. Good to see you.
saw the resolution and kicked it up to 1080s, and that way it at least looked like television.
I know.
You start a new process, and it's like, we're going to default you to extremely low res. Why?
Is it
Thanks,
working
guys.
on Facebook? I see it. I'm seeing it on Facebook, but
Yeah.
nobody's there. So I don't...
That's funny.
I just want to make sure everyone can actually
Make sure
see
you're
it on
the
Facebook.
absolute correct platform.
Okay.
The absolute correct page.
But I'm seeing
and-
people. Hi, Eric.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
NyQuil.
NyQuil before there was NyQuil. Exactly.
And of course, let's face facts. NyQuil itself is like 100 proof. I mean, it's just like booze and some other stuff. So yeah, I
Okay.
mean, booze was booze when booze was booze, and NyQuil was booze after booze was booze, and there you go. I mean, and I'm not just saying that because I've had some NyQuil. I haven't had any NyQuil.
I swear I'm not surfing. You remember we had all this drama with our camera last week because we have a completely new platform. It keeps giving me this weird view on Facebook where I'm not seeing any comments.
And it
Or
says-
I can't tell if anyone's actually watching on Facebook.
And it-
So
and it says
if you're
no comments,
watching
yeah.
on Facebook, it says nobody's watching and no comments. So if you are watching, I apologize. It's saying that there's nobody there.
That's
So
very strange.
It's
I think
it's
we would've
very
seen some
strange.
people.
So if you're watching on Facebook and you would like to comment, maybe go to YouTube. I don't know.
You can comment. I suspect we
It's
will see
very
them
weird.
eventually, and I don't know.
Live chat.
I suppose you could relaunch Facebook and check it out. That's not going to disturb anything.
No, it won't. I'll try it.
Let's give that a
But
roll.
okay. Oh, good. See, hi, Alan. Good to see you, Alan and Elizabeth. Hello. Yeah, Bill. Good to see you.
No, working on Facebook.
Gettysburg. Yeah,
Oh.
it's not. Oh my gosh, that's so weird because I can totally see it on
It's
Facebook,
like
but
right there.
I believe you. Yeah,
We do believe. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Okay. What was used to create the flaming mo? Oh yeah. It was like
yeah.
it was the topper, which was some kind of cough syrup, and you
It's so
tasted it.
weird.
It was horrible.
I'm gonna go.
And then when he
post.
flamed it, whoa! And that's the special effect drink. We talk about that all the time, which is funny.
I'm gonna check the settings.
I'm going to suspect that if I did some similar kind of concoction, some sort of like Alaskan polar bear heater, and I flamed it, it would still be horrible. So I'm not going to try that right here, right now. I think the mo is a gag, although who knows? Somebody might have perfected that.
Sorry, I'm on Facebook. It's gaslighting me. That was the word of the year for
Yeah.
22.
Yeah, gaslit.
It's because I'm like watching it on Facebook right now.
And
This
it's just
is
like-
so strange.
And this is totally frozen.
But
too.
it says no comments and that no one's watching.
Nice face I got going on over there. Actually, we're paused. If you hit that, does that make any difference? If we play,
Maybe.
I don't know. Let's see what happens.
Okay, it might be working on Facebook.
Did
now.
everybody migrate over to YouTube?
Well, wherever you are, we're happy to see you.
Ever have like a thought in the back of your head? Gee, I wonder why they go to 2 platforms. Now you know.
This is why. Okay.
Yeah, I think you would have figured that out because you're all a bunch of smart cookies.
Oh, okay. Getty's program. I don't know if it's now playing on Facebook, but there was a little play that I hit.
I've seen that happen recently, where it's like you can pause yourself. I think, why would I pause my broadcast and freeze the comments? Just asking, just wondering, people.
But I don't know whether that was it or not, because it still says no one watching. So, except at the top where it says 19 watching, I don't know. I just don't know.
I just don't know. Well, suffice to say,
don't do this to me while I'm sick.
We are in the middle of a different milieu, because we're both feeling under the weather. You picked this up, and I figured I'm going to get it eventually. But what do you know? Feels like a bad head cold. And last night I was like, oh, here we go.
I will.
Here we go with the congestion.
All right. Well, I'm going to post something.
You can't see us here. If you can see us here, we can't see you.
Apologies if you can't see our video. You can just talk. You don't have to watch me type.
No, I'm sorry. I was mesmerized by your typing. That's the thing. But yeah, no, this thing progressed from it really is just sort of had a tickle into this is happening, definitely. You've all seen it. You've all had it. You have all been there. Some of you have been there very recently. You might be there right now. That's the kind of thing. I'm just going to say, if I seem to be low energy tonight, that will be the reason. Absolutely. Also, I took some of those pills to stop the coughing, and I'm really kind of la la land. So,
all right.
There we go.
I've posted on Facebook. I've done all I can.
Yep. You have done all you can.
My work on this planet is done.
Glad to field the comments.
I don't know.
Wherever they come, but I think it's just going to be YT today. Y and T. That's the thing.
Oh. Hi, Dean and Lisa. Hi. Oh, I know. I don't know. It's playing for us on Facebook and nobody else. Hi, Satellite.
I'm looking
Good
at
to
the
see
link
you.
right there.
Oh yeah, I know.
And it's absolutely selected,
I know.
and it should have. Isn't this every week like a new wrinkle?
There's some new drama every week, isn't there?
Well, also the fact is we're not going over our former streaming service that changed up, and who knows how well they're doing.
Errol is headed back from Wyoming tonight.
Hey,
okay, well, safe travels.
Absolutely. From Wyoming, that's a pretty good haul.
Yes, Satellite, thank you for coming over. For some reason, it's just not working.
Glad to see you here. You found us. We couldn't hide. You found us,
I don't know.
Heck.
I don't know.
So.
Whatever. But in the meantime,
you need a thing.
I could use a drink.
Yes, absolutely.
It went so well last week.
Oh yeah, probably a little too well, despite the fact initially it was a lot of work to set
Eric's having Wi-Fi issues. I hate that. Ugh.
Yeah, again, we've done that a number of times, and our service just in the house for phone service has been so poor, just absolutely terrible at one point. To the point where we had to go to the damn phone store. And, it's always a terrible.
Oh, I told you guys I was going to do that.
Yeah,
we did.
We did.
I didn't check yet after the drama of that week.
Both of us are walking into this place why do I have to do this? This is such pain.
Yeah, we went to
actually.
Yeah, no, we went to the Verizon store. Remember I said that going to the Verizon store was an unholy nightmare?
Oh, boy.
Actually,
just thinking about it.
We got...
Well, we got... we took a number and hung up for a while. Somebody came over and said...
A young man who was very helpful.
He was pretty articulate and said, sometimes out there are dead spots. What can I say? And but you should call this number. And this is the special service number.
It was the loyalty team.
I'm like, oh, really? You want to retain our services? Yeah, you don't say. So I did talk to two different people, and one of them sent in a diagnosis, a diagnostic, and the other one actually said, what you can do in the meantime is go onto Wi-Fi calling, and that will route your calls over your router. And I tried that, and that works.
It works.
And it's quite strong. We also keep getting messages that the underlying problem is still being investigated. And this is a couple of weeks ago now. So I think, wow, something's really screwed up. So I'm glad I'm not waiting for that to resolve. I'd be interested to see what does happen. But I tell you, it's more than me who are having the communication issues these days. So
I'm just...
Kind of fascinated.
I'm just morbid curiosity. Back over on.
Here's a really basic question. If I am watching us on Facebook, that means we're broadcasting from here to Facebook, correct?
It just
is
means
happening.
that like nobody else can see.
Nobody else can see this.
I don't need to see myself. I see myself quite
Just
often.
didn't think to switch itself to private, did it? That would be totally stupid.
No, because that wasn't a setting.
Wasn't a setting. I don't know. Again, if
Gettysburg has a tech coming to the house tomorrow. Apparently, we have low connectivity-itis. Oh, jeez.
Connectivitis.
Hi, Karen.
Is
thank you.
Known condition that's actually caused by a bacterium, not a virus. So it is soluble. Your tech will simply apply like 20 milligrams of erythromycin, and bang, there you are. You're
Let's
done.
apply some internal medicine,
Internal medicine, shall we? Indeed. I'm going to actually apply some internal medicine of my, not of my own, but shortly. And I will tell you that it will cure your bacteria, but it will not cure your viruses.
Bill, we started on YouTube, actually. And then we were kind of doing both. And then, I don't know, seems like YouTube's working better right now, doesn't it?
Under the weather. Old nautical term. Well, that actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, knowing etymology, I'm not entirely sure. If you looked into it, you might find out, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. But that makes sense. That sounds good to me. I'm going with that.
So, I have two variations of this drink tonight that I'm calling Kelly's Special Medicine.
Kelly's Special Meds.
Kelly's Special Medicine starts with 2 ounces of bourbon. And then I'm going to do a 1/2 ounce Barrow's Intense Ginger Liqueur.
You know, when your throat is feeling scratchy, ginger tea is the way for it to be. So definitely recommend that. But if you have ginger liqueur, that will definitely hit it too. Ginger beer, sure. Barrow's Intense is what you want.
Yeah.
In your drinkerino. You like sub that in an old fashioned, you get that little burn. Oh yeah, it's got it.
So good.
You want that to happen.
And then, all right. You can go back to the comments. I know what I'm doing from here on
very good then. If you got it in, then.
And you only have to go to YouTube, apparently.
Apparently, I need to be on one platform tonight because I don't know. That's the thing.
Also,
stop that.
Oh well, never mind. Okay, 1/2 ounce blackcurrant liqueur. I'm using American Fruits, which is local to us. So if you're local and you can get American Fruits,
check on American Fruits.
Highly recommend.
If you are not, and your store can't actually order this in, I'm sure some stores can, depending on which state you've got and which set of laws they got. We have 50 sets of laws. They're weird. They're just weird. Didn't we just do? What am I thinking of? Repeal Day in December, and all that reminds you of is now instead of having liquor law, we have liquor laws, and some of them are weird. So if you want to order liquor, maybe you could.
3/4 ounce fresh lemon juice.
And if you can't get the Warwick product, check out, see if they got some of those imports from Eastern Europe where they make excellent fruit liqueurs. Yeah, that's a fun thing to do.
3 dashes orange bitters. And 3 dashes aromatic bitters.
Batten down the hatches, yeah. I had to batten down mine.
Oh boy, do we have another one of these?
No, but we do have an old fashioned over.
We're almost out of that. Okay,
definitely.
Shake with ice and strain into a cocktail glass. The camera is so much closer tonight, so it's weird. I keep looking past it.
Yeah, it's like, where are we? Oh,
I know.
Yes. Look in the back.
Kelly's Special Medicine.
Peter notes that bourbon and ginger liqueur will clear up any congestion.
That's right. Well, I'm counting on it.
It's going to make you feel better. I will tell you that. I guarantee. And we have a vote for this awesome house coat and smoking jacket from Karen. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I believe you. You made this one, but not this one. Although, is this a homebrew?
Yes. And I have another one exactly like it that I bought at the same time. So whenever the person... No.
You don't. Okay.
This one isn't homemade.
Okay.
Because I bought 2 exactly alike at the same time, and then I found another one like it. So I think that it was kind of a line.
Yeah.
3 of them.
Maybe it was something that was going around.
like what we've got.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Something is going around.
Something is going around, for Pete's sake.
I keep hearing that. Some people are like, oh, well, something's going around. I'm like, yeah, no kidding.
Bill's asking, weren't we first on Facebook, then changed to YouTube?
I was
for the live episodes. Yeah, I think we.
Oh, for live, yeah.
For live, yes.
Thank you.
Because
actually, we were first on Periscope. Bizarrely.
If you remember that, then you have been around with this show for a while.
I garnished with a twist.
I like mine with a twist.
I'm feeling better already.
Well, there we go.
Okay.
Got 2 votes for apple cider vinegar.
Mmm.
As I recall, you're not supposed to take that straight. You take that in a glass of water.
I used that.
Just in case anybody is unfamiliar with that, I was thinking to myself, wow, that's kind of tart. Yes, you'll want to cut it.
I know people who do it straight.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Acid. I would have a little bit of trouble. I do take acid blockers.
Yeah.
Karen said we need a medicinal cocktail with cider vinegar. You know, it reminds me of switchel, which is actually like a vinegar infusion, which you would actually dilute, and it is refreshing, but it is very, very acid, as a matter of fact. Oh, I tell you.
I pity the fool.
Yeah, you're pitting us.
Did you just call me a fool?
Yeah, wait a minute. So,
you want to make a drink?
Let's, shall we? You've made something. I think I should do the same. Let's actually get a glass chilling. Shall we?
Hi, Opera. Yeah, sorry about the Facebook thing.
Totally.
It's totally fun for us on Facebook.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I am looking at us, so I don't have a question.
I just out of morbid curiosity went back there and yep, it's fine. No one watching and no comments because no one can see it but us. But oh, thank you. Yeah, I got nothing. I got nothing.
Not a squatter. Not a lot.
Hi, Cheryl. Good to see you.
Mm-hmm. Hello.
Oh, Karen, yeah, this is a January tree.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, we took down all the Christmas stuff off of the tree and put up January ornaments. So
we have everything that's frozen and frosty and Mr. Freeze. We do have Mr. Freeze on.
Thanks, Lisa.
Literally from Batman. So that's definitely going on because, of course, we're just in for it. We're just going to get all the frozen stuff this month and next, aren't we? So that's the January tree is all about. It just extends the season a little.
Well, I'll show you. It's not decorated yet, but oh no, you gotta turn the camera. I'm still turning the computer
true.
Like you can. I'm used to doing Zoom.
That's actually
turn the.
See if we can do that, shall we?
Yeah, turn the camera so that we can see the.
Loosen us up a bit.
Oh, thank you, Cheryl.
Let me know when we have a good sight line on
this. I will. Okay, Paul's gonna turn the camera. Hopefully, this won't lead to disaster.
It should not. There we go. Loose enough. And how about?
Okay, hold on. It hasn't turned yet.
Yep.
All right, it's still not showing up as turned yet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's way behind. So.
It is the delay.
The delay. Okay.
You, like we'll get there eventually.
Okay, hold on. It's about to turn.
We're hanging.
Yeah, apparently there is a delay.
We're just talking about. See, if you are seeing this by now, and possibly you're seeing this before us, this is the February trend.
Okay, you can see it.
Yes.
All right, you can turn it back now.
Okay, very good. So you can describe.
Yes.
As we get to.
So that's the February tree, which isn't decorated. It has one ornament on it because I saved it out from Christmas. But yep. Yes, the pink tree. Oh, thank you. Yeah, usually at Christmas time we use that one with I put the classic TV themed ornaments on it. We have like Laverne and Shirley and etc. So I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
Bewitched. So, Eric loves to train the reel to reel.
Oh yes, that's a TX machine.
Old
Had that
Arno.
for years.
Hi, thank you.
Put a new belt on it twice, and it is still rocking. It's doing just great.
I hope I'm saying your name right. Old Arnhem.
Let me see. Arnhem. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
What says Oid Arnhem?
Oh, Oid Arnhem.
Oid Arnhem.
Oid Arnhem.
It's a little hard for me to see. That's a very small type. I want to make sure I can correct myself.
Old Eyes.
Thank you. Yeah, Old Eyes.
Tell us your real name so we can call you by it.
And there we go. But definitely. So I need a little thing too, and I decided to actually not reinvent any wheels. And since what I need is medicine, let's go for something that calls itself penicillin. So we're going to go with that. So I will take the scotch, please. We happen to be using Valentine this evening.
That's kind of low, isn't it?
Well, I guess it's time for some more Valentine. This is a really nice
thank you, Aubrey. We got that
brand.
at Sweet Lorraine in Cleveland. Karen says, hi, all and sundry. Whoever decides to be sundry.
Whoever decides to be sundry. I'm just saying, Jesus.
I'd be sundry.
There we go.
Thank you.
I'll take the Barrows.
Yep.
And could you pop over to the formula? I just want to see how much I'm supposed to put in on this.
The half ounce.
Okay, half ounce Barrows, 3/4 lemon juice, and then a half ounce of the honey syrup. Got it?
Yep.
Okay.
Hi, Mikhail. Good to see you.
Half on the Barrows Intense.
Oh, Mikhail, that sounds lovely.
That's a good place to be when your throat's as scratchy as mine is.
We do a black one
Thank you.
that I had this bright idea last year that I would do a traffic themed tree. Actually, it actually came out of like a whole joke, but I was like, I bet you could do that. So
we do.
We got black, and then we got yellow lights to be like the line in the road. Yours sounds much classier. Ooh, a purple tree. Oh, the goth house. That sounds great.
So that was a half ounce each of the
Gettysburg
Barrows
is happy to be
Intense.
sundry.
Oh, yeah, please. I can be sundry. Half ounce each of the Barrows Intense ginger liquor, half ounce, and the honey syrup. Honey syrup is just 1-to-1 honey and water in case you don't actually have a home bar and use such things. All it means is it makes the honey a lot easier to use in your drinks. And honey in drinks, of course, has a long history, including such fine things as something Alan was made tonight, the bee's knees. Oh, yeah. That's actually pretty similar in flavor.
Night is young.
Night is young. There we go. So anyway, and then 3/4 ounce of lemon. And I think the idea is use a little more lemon because you got all that sweet stuff in there. That is your first 4 ingredients. What you're going to do is... all you got to do is... No, don't drop your ice. No!
Oh my god, I can't believe you just put that there.
It's clean. Go with ice.
Oh! Happy heavenly birthday to Danny effing K.
Danny effing K.
We gotta catch up because you're getting some. Bill says never seen a black Christmas tree. Although Black Christmas, that would be funny though.
Yeah. Exactly.
Eric says my father had a Concorde and an Ampex.
Oh, decks. Yeah, Concorde decks were actually made by...
Hi, Robert.
Concorde decks were made by Panasonic.
Robert says one of these broadcasts needs to be a musical. Note that.
Well, you know, there we...
I would love to do that.
I know someone else is going to give a vote for that.
I would love to do that.
It's absolutely true. Let me just...
Hi, Cynthia.
ramble for a second here. Concorde was a rebrander, and I think they were based in California. I forget that town. It used to be on the Chatsworth or something. And they imported... And at the time, they were importing these more inexpensive Japanese electronics. Most of their line was made by Panasonic. So you take a look at the internals on those, you're like, hey, it's all Matsushita. And we used to have an 880 deck. That thing weighed a freaking ton. Good machine though. It had vacuum tubes inside. And the Ampex decks were really cool. Those were the only ones that would do auto reverse on Ampex tapes because they had their special circuitry. No one else had that circuitry. I've got all these tapes that'll auto rev, and they don't do it because I've got a TIAC. Jace.
Cynthia, thank you for dropping by. Yeah, enjoy your trip.
Straight into a cocktail glass.
You told me I've had one of those recently.
I did tell you.
You made me one of those recently.
Yes, I did. You were wondering whether you liked it or not. And I said, well, you drank it. Guess it wasn't so bad.
I must have liked it at least somewhat.
Garnish with your lemon peel. So we're going to, as always, take a nice little peel and just give it that little...
Oh, the vessel with the pestle.
That's what the pestle, in
That's
fact.
to prove that is true.
That was just referenced on the weekend.
Challenge from the
I
palace.
was at a friend's house and that came up.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so you're not done yet. I will take the smoky scotch, please. The final bit is to take a different scotch. I had a blended whiskey over there. This, of course, is what they call a single malt. Happen to be using the Kaulila, which is very nice.
Hi,
Already
Errol.
smoky.
Sorry,
I'm
we
just
got
going to take about a 1/4 ounce of this.
Errol has to board his delayed plane.
Oh,
Safe travels,
yes,
Errol.
yes, please. all the way back. I'm actually getting quite low on the Calila, but I've got plenty because it needs a 1/4 ounce. So there we go. And I'll just keep
Yes, I'm missing people's comments here.
And just slip that over the top. We've placed all this business and just carefully slip it in against the float. And that is your penicillin. Oh, that feels really good on the throat right now. But you're basically talking like a lemon honey concoction.
Cheers.
Yeah, prosit. If it were tea, you'd say, oh, my aunt does that all the time, you know. Mm. And if it were bourbon, you'd say, oh, my aunt does that all the time.
He also had a portable Iowa.
Oh, wow. That's actually probably, well, was that much later?
And Eric says, I think Concord had a reverse as well.
Oh, that's interesting. Like this deck over here is an X300 that does do auto reverse, but you have to rig the tapes with the sensing foil. Same foil you would use on an 8-track tape. And that works. That works really well. I've got a few tapes that were rigged up like that. You put them on, it gets to the end, chink, it just starts playing the other way. It's so cool. It's great to not have to flip the dang tape. Less work, right? Yeah, better for what ails you. I'm going to have some more of this for what ails me because it still does.
I know. Fortunately,
fortunately,
I have a variation on this recipe too.
Getting into last night has subsided, but I did take some medication for that, and I'm like, I know that coughing is productive, but it's not productive to like turn my throat into 40 grit sandpaper. And you know what? The congestion will subside on its own, given time. Just do that.
Oh, whiskey, honey, and lemon was my childhood cold medicine. I hated it. Yeah, I would have hated that as a child, too.
As a kid, yeah.
Now I'm like, bring it.
Well, we had a couple of thumbs down for Vicks earlier, and I got to say, as a kid, I would take this stuff, and you're like, whoa, you know, it's a heavy shot. And it's also like 80 or 100 proof, so it's a shot of booze, you know, and if you're like 8 years old and you're feeling horrible and you take this stuff, now you're like high, you know. It's like,
getting a lot of love for the Iowa.
Oh, there you go. The first cassette deck, like real actual cassette deck that I bought back in the 80s.
Dang.
I took a look into the pricings on things, and if you wanted to buy something that said Nakamichi, you were paying a lot of money. Tascam was going to cost. But Iowa had a very reasonable price line for a 3-head deck, and I said, yeah, I want that. And I had that machine for years. It was just a workhorse. Recorded everything on that. It had like really good adjustable settings if you really wanted to dial in, like, you know, how the tape was recorded and all that. A couple of Dolbys, blah, blah, blah. It worked great. I still play recordings I made on this thing back here, which is a replacement deck. It works fine. So I got to say, you know, the medium is completely like motor over by now. Nobody does cassettes and all that kind of thing. But I listen to the things that I made. I'm like, these sound okay. You know, these sound really nice. Even actually like sold a deck to a friend recently and tested it out by making a recording from a CD. And I made it. I played that back like 10 times because it was like I really like this music and the recording sounds fabulous. I was like, wow, it's a good machine. You know, it's overlooked these days because it's all about, oh, we're all streaming and downloading and blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, sure, I do it.
Oh, Julie, I just saw your post on Facebook, so I wanted to say hi. I see you. I know you can't comment, but I see you. Thank you for making your way over to YouTube.
Thank you for fielding these things. We are still looking at ourselves on Facebook. It's going. No one's commenting because nobody can see us except us. Why do I need to see us? Gosh. You need to see us. I'm just saying. I tell you.
Oh, Vicks. Oh, so you used the Vicks, Eric? Because I thought, I was like, oh, I need some Vicks. And then I went online and I was reading all these horrible reviews and people got like bad batches or something. So I got kind of scared, but.
There you go.
Oh, Bill says our first reel-to-reel was a Roberts.
Roberts.
Okay.
There used to be advertisements for Roberts decks by Lawrence
Welk. Oh, Mikhail, I didn't know that.
Lawrence, a good old Mr. Champagne Music, swore by his Roberts. Roberts was another import that was given a very westernized sounding name. Those were made by Akai. Roberts decks were Akai. You can frequently see like two of the same exact deck and one says Roberts, one says Akai. It's just, where were they sold? It's funny. Those were really, really solid machines. When I've got, I don't have an Akai reel, but we have an 8-track recorder that basically weighs as much as a VCR. It's just, wow, you could drop it off a building.
Karen, I totally get you. I'd rather have a record or a book in my hands, too.
I will say this about the downloads. You know, they're quick, they're easy, they're kind of the quick and dirty, and sometimes they're quick and clean, and they sound perfectly fine. Blah blah blah. And I think, how about longevity? You know, is this? Am I downloading it from somewhere? Or am I streaming it from somewhere? Am I always going to have access? If I download it and the file gets corrupt, can I get it again? That's the thought that's going through the back of your mind too. And I think, this is why you're thinking, yeah, I probably want to own something, don't I?
Oh,
and
gosh.
if something is solid, that's okay.
So many Vix stories.
Oh boy, here we go.
Eric says, I recently saw a talk with this female artist that uses reel-to-reel tape and a buchla for her work. Wow.
Buchla is the computing synthesizer. You're all familiar with the Moog, and yeah, that's pronounced Moog. The Buchla is made by Don Buchla. I believe that's a West Coast invention. The Moog was actually invented on the East Coast by Bob Moog and Herb Deutsch.
Oh.
Tip of the fez to Mr. Deutsch, who I did actually have as an instructor at my university. And
Oh, really?
Yes, and they university still had a Model 1 Moog with all of the modules.
Wow.
That was huge. But it's all patch cords. You want to actually create a sound, it's like, hook this up, hook that up, hook that up.
Did people do that?
Adjust, yeah. Yeah, I actually worked in that thing. The great thing is that it has this, like, just great, like, what they call a fat analog synth sound. It's just 12 oscillators strung together. You know, you just filter it, and you've got a different tone, and it kind of sounds like horns. But it's cool sounding, you know? It's a vintage sound. It doesn't exactly sound like what it's emulating. So it sounds a little otherworldly, you know?
Oh, yeah, the ear infections. We're talking about the Vicks for ear infections. And, yeah, I used to always get sore throats. I got sore throats all the time when I was a kid. Hi, Bobby John.
I did not get ear infections until I was a teenager. And then I did steadily for the successive 10 years. And, like, the head pain, the inside head pain was always the worst because it was just like something pounding your eardrum, and your head was just like this part of your brain was on fire, and it would just like you would just suffer. So that's among the worst that I have seen, and I haven't really had that in a very long time. I think it was because I used to swim a lot, and I was probably just getting like some swimmer's ear or something, and it was pretty bad. So
I used to swim a lot, but I never got that.
got
Well,
that.
I did. I think I had like maybe one ear infection, but sore throats all the time.
It comes in stages. So that was the wave then. About 20 years ago, I remember getting an infection on the eyelid. And it was not an infection.
This is terrible.
It was a blockage. Something they call a chalazion.
Sorry.
Yo, please, take care of yourself. Have some more medicine.
Man.
And like I did, that happened, and then it recurred twice. And then since then, clean. So
Sheridan's
it's
asking,
weird.
is this why people get their tonsils out? I don't know. I never had. I remember people getting their tonsils out all the time too.
I think there was a thought at the time that all the tonsils were there to do was to get infected. So a lot of doctors were like, yoink them. My mother had her tonsils out. I never did. And subsequently, medicine is thinking, well, actually, they perform an important function, so you probably want to retain them. So that's what people do these days. But back in the day, it was like, get your tonsils out. And you see all these TV episodes where somebody's gotten the tonsils out, and they're like, I need ice cream, you know, this kind of thing.
Peter says the early synths put me in the mood for Noi.
Ah,
And
there we go.
Okay, you guys can talk amongst yourselves.
Please talk amongst.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, you know, all of those machines. And I was listening to a track the other day.
Oh, the tooth. I remember that. Oh, what was that? You're gonna be like, oh yeah,
the toothache.
the stuff that
That's just clove oil. Yeah, I don't know if there was probably some brand names on that, but that's just clove oil because it's an anesthetic. So my mother had a bottle of that.
Ambisol.
Oh, Ambisol.
Is that it?
Oh, that could be. Yeah, I bet you're right.
Oh.
Yeah. Ambisol, I believe, is actually lidocaine, which actually is what it sounds like, but it's got an anesthetic effect. I was thinking about clove. Oil of clove, if you just put a drop on, boom, same effect. And kind of tastes good, too.
Oh, it shows that you got your tonsils out and got ice cream.
It's like the, who got the tonsils out on the Brady Bunch. You know? It's like, here, all the ice cream you want. Yeah, because we've excised part of your body and you're bleeding down there. So here's all the ice cream that you can handle. Bing, bing, bing.
I guess it would be soothing. Something frozen.
Something frozen,
I don't know.
Anesthetic, and the fact is you get over it, it heals.
Oh, Oragel. Cheryl. Yeah, I think Cheryl's right.
Oh,
Oragel.
okay.
Oragel.
Tasted horrible. Well, there we go. And if it contained what I think it contained, it would taste horrible. Absolutely.
Oh.
No question. I tell you, all these great medicines that were just wretched, were just really terrible things.
Man.
There's some stuff, there is a cough syrup from Canada. I believe was it Buckley's? That is basically flavored.
With elderberry.
Elderberry.
Yeah, the elderberry is supposed to be good for colds. Alexander
how about
says.
that? Oh, here we go. Vote for Bobby. I'm thinking
okay.
What was the stuff that was a cough syrup? Yeah, I think it was, in fact, Buckley's.
Oh, hi, Amy.
The stuff was like flavored like either wintergreen or pine or something. It just had this heavy, like a pine or menthol. And it's like, you were taking it like, wow, that stuff really knocked you for a loop.
Abra says, I used to get jealous of school friends who had their tonsils out because they got to eat a ton of ice cream.
Yeah, there you go. Bingo. Methylate.
Oh. Yeah, Carol and Cindy. I remember that.
Mm-hmm. The two of you.
Because that's when they were supposed to go on the boat with Mike's boss, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Carol wasn't supposed to talk, and she thought Mike kept calling to see if she wouldn't talk because it was the Brady Bunch, and
because people don't trust
people. And then
people.
she told him she didn't want to go sailing on his broken down barnacle barge, and it actually was his boss.
Mm.
Meth.
And of course, there was this
meth.
Has to be a big apology sequence later. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't really mean that about your broken down.
It's like, ha.
Bing bong, bing bong. This, of course, makes me think of...
You can insult a man's wife, but never his boat.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because the man is married to his boat, not his wife, apparently. So I'm thinking of all these medicines.
She's getting that boat in the divorce.
Yeah, I'm just saying, this is what's going to happen, folks. So about all of these things we're talking about, methylate reminds of mercurochrome. That has not been on the market.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Mercurochrome.
Which was actually red. It was very red.
Yep.
And if you're thinking, did it contain mercury? Yes, it did. And that was actually a topical antiseptic. You would put that on the outside. And of course, it would stain everything. It would run all over the place.
Lisa, I still have my tonsils too.
Yeah, they're still here. Right now, they're probably inflamed, and oh well.
Oh, Eric says I accidentally swallowed some Ambisol when I was a kid. Stayed home from school due to a real bad stomach and various herbal sessions. Oh no.
Oh man.
Oh gosh.
Having been through that business recently, I can sympathize.
Oh my God, that home bar.
Bad that has to go. Oh yeah, Gene Perry's home bar in this episode.
Columbo on in the background, and there was a very impressive home bar.
It's pretty substantial. He had a pretty impressive looking 4 fingers of scotch, I'll tell you that much. Pretty good stuff. This is actually not the premiere, but like the TV movie that launched the whole series. As a matter of fact.
Oh yeah, several people still have their tonsils.
I think we are many of us are of a certain age group where you just went past that point and you have your tonsils.
But I remember a lot of kids getting their tonsils out when I was in school. Oh.
And I don't know whether my mother had an opinion one way or another about that. She had hers out. She probably would have thought,
his mom was a nurse.
She was a nurse. So as a medical professional, she might have had an opinion. But for some reason, it was never suggested to us either. So I think medicine was changing its opinion right around that time. It's like, how many actually on your left arm have a scar right here? And of course, you remember what that was for. That is an inoculation, which of course by now is totally pointless.
Hold on.
That happens. Look at that thing?
Don't worry about it. I got it.
Okay, good.
Hold on.
Okay, yes, if you can handle that, that'd be great.
I got it.
There was a comment about Columbo. I'd have to go back and take a look at that. How did he... And we just managed to watch the entire series a few years ago because we got the box set. I remember seeing a lot of these as a kid, and some of these were pretty nostalgic. It's well done. They hold up, and the characters are good.
Yeah.
Stay alive when revealing his finding to the murderers.
I don't have the scar, which makes me think, did I there's no way I didn't get the smallpox vaccine,
Everybody
right?
got smallpox back in the day. But since about 1980, nobody needs to because World Health notes that it's eradicated around the world.
Oh, no.
It does not exist in the wild.
Oh, my God.
Doesn't mean we can't come back.
Sheridan says, when I was little, my mom gave us cough syrup and left the bottle out. I wanted to get better fast, so I drank the bottle. I was unconscious for 2 days. Oh, no.
Oh,
Jeez.
well, that's a very, you know, American impulse there. If a little is good for you.
Oh, Bobby.
You know, oh, Bobby. I bet it tasted terrible too, you know.
That's funny.
That's the thing.
Still mad at losing 2 days, but also, why didn't anyone take me to the hospital? I know. All I can say is it was a different time.
It was a different time. Oh, she'll sleep it off.
She'll sleep it
Today,
off.
you'd be like, she's not sleeping necessarily. Get her to the emergency care, you know?
Just the whole sleep it off. People don't say that anymore, do they?
Not really, no.
It's like, yeah, people don't say that.
Yeah.
That's how my parents were. Oh, Amy, thank you. I know. It's.
Thank you, Amy.
When we were live last week, I was like, I have a sore throat. This
Tickle,
is going
tickle.
to turn into something, and indeed it did.
I pity the fool.
Yeah, it does.
Indeed it
Thanks,
did.
T. Thanks, Amy. It's good. I tell you, and we actually have alluded to this like this entire time because both of us are having what's considered sort of you're doing a variation on a classic cool medicine. I'm doing
Medican.
Yeah. And I'm doing something which is specifically calling itself penicillin, which, by the way, is worthless against the virus that's currently attacking my
Exactly.
throat. But, well, the penicillin would be. The actual drink itself is making my throat feel anesthetized, so I'm going to call that good. And there's the thing. Is liquor medicine? Well, I think that depends. In terms of this will attack
medicine.
This will attack and kill the bacteria that's giving you trouble. And the answer to that, no, it can't. It doesn't do that. Can it make you feel better? Yeah, sure. Well, that sounds like medicine to me. So, you know, it kind of depends on how you're looking at it. It's not this penicillin is not penicillin. It's not going to attack the agent that's giving you trouble. So when people say, well, that's not going to do anything,
symptoms.
but will it soothe your damn symptoms? It's like chicken soup. Oh, chicken soup cured me. Well, it can't. Except that it can give you some strength.
Karen says, how did we survive childhood?
No,
And Abra says, how's a broken leg? Walk it off. I know, I was always like, you're not sick, go to school. Now, like, I think about it. Well, you were in your office yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I was.
And I'm like, great. So
I was in my office with this little tickle, and I'm like...
And he's
it
like,
doesn't feel like
having
anything.
in-person meetings and
was
stuff.
fine.
And I'm like,
It was totally fine.
here's a virus.
I get
y'all.
home,
You're
and
welcome.
it just starts kicking me, and I think, oh, geez, here we go. So obviously, I was like already on my way at the point in time. I just didn't feel bad.
No. Oh, no. Mikhail says, Flintstone vitamins was my jam as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Mom told me no on the second vitamin one day. I suck and finished the bottle. They pumped my stomach and 3 days in the hospital with iron poisoning. Oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you.
Oh, man.
Oh.
I can't match that.
Jeez.
I mean, the worst thing I ever did was when I was somewhere.
Hi, Arcade.
Hey.
The drink is helping.
Yes.
It's for sure not hurting.
This is the point. Yeah, it's absolutely
not
helping.
hurting.
As medicine, it is definitely having an effect. I feel better. You know, is it a cure? No, it's not a cure. It's not an inoculation. But penicillin as a cocktail is pretty good.
Jeez.
Pretty nice stuff.
Yeah, Lisa. Yeah, my parents are more of like, if it's not broken or bleeding, you don't need a doctor. It's like, that's how.
Interestingly,
it was back then.
my mother was kind of the same way, but
she was a nurse,
medical professional. She could tell if it was more than broken or bleeding. And nothing got broken. Things bled. You put a bandage on, you went there. But like when I woke up in the morning and my throat would feel like this, she'd like, "Are you still walking around? Go to school." And I think, oh, so I just infected everybody because I would sound horrible, and it was just like sandpaper down there and like in the old tonsils. And I'm like in class and I'm in the lunchroom and I'm walking around. I'm like, people got sick because of me. I was a carrier. I was typhoid Paul. That's terrible.
Bobby says, back in 97, got a virus and mail on the same day. AOL. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, everybody did.
Oh, Mikhail, that is... man. You and Karen. Man,
I'm just thinking about that entire bottle of Flintstones vitamins. Because they're a little, they're sweet and they're a little candy-esque and they're shaped like the Flintstones mobile. So you're like, yeah, I'll take 10 of these.
Oh, yeah.
And, then you have...
Typhoid Paul, he was.
Then you realize what's in there and you're just like, oh, man, oh, that's so bad.
Like, right. Oh, you wanted us back in the office. Here you go. You're welcome.
Hi. Yeah, pestilence Paul. I am definitely delivering the pestilence.
Paul. You're welcome, Paul's colleagues.
You know, so anybody in the office there was just like, we need to get back to the office. Really? We do? Yeah, I probably shouldn't have been there. I didn't feel that bad in the morning. I tell you. Outside of being tired, but, you know, when you get up at that hour and have to hop on a train and travel as far as I do, you're going to feel bad. So...
You're gonna feel bad after that train ride. Even on the best day. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm
seriously.
kidding. But that train ride is no joke.
It's some time. It's
okay if you take it during commuting hours. Because commuters get it. Commuters, like everyone just gets that none of us want to be here. And we're all going to be very respectful of each other. Other times of the day, forget it.
Yeah, the commuters are quiet, and they know what the quiet car is all about. They don't take business calls on there, even though many of them are on a laptop, because they're going to work. But the people who are riding at off hours are just like, don't have any clue.
Eric, we do a lounge version of Comfortably Numb in our Velvetones act.
As a matter of fact.
I have become comfortably numb. Oh, Arcade is asking what we're having. Okay, so this was Kelly's Special Medicine version number 1. I'm going to be making version 2 shortly. Bourbon, Barrows and Tins ginger liqueur, black currant liqueur, fresh lemon juice, aromatic bitters, orange bitters.
There you go.
And I must say, it's getting the job done.
You used the black currant in the first version?
Yes.
Yes.
I did.
And this was penicillin. Penicillin was actually, I can tell you. I can just whip out the book and tell you.
Fred and Barney got me hooked on cigs.
Oh, yeah, that was their advertisement back in the day.
Yes.
Can you believe that for a family show? They were like advertising Winston's. So penicillin was created by Sam Ross in New York, New York. And it is 1 3/4 ounces of Scotch whiskey, 3/4 ounces of fresh lemon juice, honey syrup, ginger liqueur, and then a little bit of some smoky Scotch. You know, you shake the first part into your cocktail glass, give yourself a twist, and then you just float the smoky Scotch. And it's subtle. It's not overpowering like a single
Bobby
malt.
is Mikhail's husband. That's hilarious.
There you go.
Oh, I'm about to make another one, Arcade.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lisa says, geez, I'm such a child now about my vitamins. If it's not in gummy form, you can forget me taking it. I've been taking lately. We've been taking lately.
Gummy C's.
A gummy C with zinc. You can see how much good it did. Ugh.
Didn't prevent anything, but it's helping. It's helping. You know, I had to go find them again at the supermarket. I'm looking around for the vitamins that have the smiling lemon on them. Like, where's the smiling lemon?
Yeah, and it's a kid's
vitamin. Where's the lemons?
Too.
And I finally found it. So there it was. They're also a good price, which is nice.
Hopefully,
because I tell you, that supplements aisle can drain your bank book. Good grief! What's in this stuff?
Yeah,
it's all unregulated too, by the way, because it's not medication.
Well, my doctor told me to take like this massive dose of D vitamins, and I ran out of them. So I messaged her the other day and said, "Can you
prescribe these?
Call in a prescription because
I just go pick them up.
Otherwise, it's going to be like the national debt to take all that D."
I tell you, you know, we have actually a good source on D's that just buy one get one, but that's near my workplace.
Anyone else?
My workplace. We're near my other workplace. I was working right behind this couch just today, as a matter of fact.
Anyone else mourning the loss of Yukihiro Takahashi?
Oh, no, I didn't realize.
I don't know that. Who's that?
Okay. Hats off to, I tell you. We've had...
well, I'm very sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is, but I'm very sorry.
There's a number of, very prominent people who have left us recently. I was just at...
I need another shaker.
A little get-together. Oh, you need a shaker.
I do.
It's probably easier if I go get that, isn't it? Okay.
Well, okay.
Yeah. I was at a little get-together on the weekend, and people were playing some Jeff Beck, of course. Just out of respect. So.
Is that Honey Mix?
This is Honey Mix.
Like, what's in the shot glass over there?
That's Honey Mix. In case you need some. Did you use the orange?
Oh, I have not.
You have not. Would you like that? You should have this accessible to use.
I was going to do a variation on my first one.
Okay.
So you can leave it there if you want.
Just leave it there.
I need another shaker.
Need a shaker.
I thought, wow, look at us. We brought everything we need.
No, you always miss something.
You always miss something, don't you?
It's always something.
I'm still so fascinated by We're still live over on Facebook, only no one can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I keep trying to, like, reply to comments of, like, I can't find you on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to reply to those.
So if you're sort of in between platforms and scratching your head about this, so am I. We did everything the same as we did last week. We are broadcasting there, and it is invisible to everybody but us.
Oh, thank you, Arcade.
For Pete's sake, I don't need to see myself. You need to see me. So I don't know what the heck is. If you're finding us over here on YouTube because you thought we might be here, great. I really appreciate that you looked into that. And we'll get to as many of you as we can who are still a little confused. Because we did the same old thing. I just don't know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Amy, of course. Has to take a lot of vitamin D too, but it's tough finding it without soy.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
For Pete's sake. Every time I talk about, like, soy products being a problem for people, I'm like, because it's in bloody well everything.
I appreciate that, Arcade. Thank you.
Soy is cheap and easily found. That's why it's a good filler. Well, it's not good if you can't digest it.
Boy.
So, it's like wheat. If you have a wheat allergen, check all your products. You can't eat anything. Everything's got wheat. Jeez. And then if you say, well, I can't do wheat, but I could do, say, oat protein. And then suddenly, if you have an oat allergy, you're like, oh,
it doesn't so
can't eat
much
anything.
now.
Craziness.
Everything doesn't so much now have wheat.
I think businesses are a little more attuned to such things.
Oh, man, jealous. I didn't know about that either.
Oh, was that just... I thought that was a while ago, though.
Oh, I don't know.
Am I wrong? I thought that was quite a while ago that Angelus actually left out.
Okay, so my second one, dang.
There was a comment that soy is safe if it's not GMO. Not for our correspondent, Amy. So, who can't do this at all. And some people just...
yeah, she has an allergy.
Some people just have that sensitivity, and I think forget it. It's like being, having a milk allergy. You can't take it at all. So, that's the end of that.
But anyway, back to Kelly's Special Medicine 2. I decided to do a variation on my first one because I thought I would like it, and indeed I did.
In fact, I liked it.
Speaking of Elvis, I want to use the Elvis Rye.
Hello.
Again.
It's the king. Everyone's
sticking to my whiskey.
Gonna sing like the king.
But instead of bourbon, I'm going to do 2 ounces of rye.
It's a good place to be to start with. That will anesthetize, I think.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And...
half ounce of the Bears Intense. Intense!
I'll just let him read it.
Yeah, I can read it for you.
He can narrate.
I'll be your color commentator. I'll be your Ed McMahon.
He'd be my Ed McMahon.
Half ounce of Bears Intense ginger. Yes, sir. And for your next item, you need a half ounce of sour cherry liquor.
All right. Sour cherry. Going back to the American fruits, half ounce.
It's a good place to be, eh?
I have to say, I kind of like sitting here for these broadcasts.
Normally we are standing for
behind the bar
to 2.5 hours, and it gets hard on the feet. Finally put a pad back there.
I know, we finally put a mat back there.
Years of doing this, we finally have a mat back there, which is a yoga mat. But I just kind of folded it up, and it's like, gee, this is so much better. Just put something squishy under the feet, They've got those work mats that people have if they're in a standing job, like, in restaurants. And I suppose we could look into that, but we found something.
Sticky.
Oh,
3/4 of an ounce fresh lemon juice.
Lemon juice.
All right, you can read.
I can take it away.
You can go to that tab.
I'll find the tab. Okay. No worries, I'll find the tab.
3 dashes aromatic bitters, 3 dashes orange
bitters. And guess what, folks? You know what you're gonna do? You're gonna shake with ice and strain into a cocktail glass.
Garnish with
what
twist.
You have. So it's good.
That's the wrong one.
Yeah, no, I'm just checking to make sure I've got nothing here, but I think people are people have migrated.
I'm just saying. What a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
This one's not our fault, though, because I don't even know.
I don't even know. And I can't figure it out. If I wanted to figure it out, I would have to shut everything down
I got nothing.
and start a new broadcast.
No.
And, you'd all go home. So there's not much point to that for us.
I'm not going to do that.
We'll live with one platform and be glad that we have 2.
I know. I feel badly, but my brain can't take it.
Notation from Jeremy. Real soy is gluten-free. Pardon me, people. But a lot of soy sauce manufacturers don't use soy. I think a lot of them do a half and half of soy and wheat because wheat's cheaper. So it's used as a filler, which is no good. A lot of them use a lot of sugar too, which is not really necessary. And Lisa's eating
and to brew some tea.
Blood pressure meds and vitamin D's and multis. Yeah, jeez. If you're not on the acid blockers, you're on the blood pressure thingies. You know,
or the statins.
Isn't that blood pressure thing? No, that's
the spray, please.
The spray.
Yes. Spray. Yes, the spray.
Yes, the spray. I'm trying to find the spray. Sorry, very slow right now. So yeah, you take your pick. I'm on the acid blockers. I'm sure about half of you out there are on the same exact stuff. Oh, I had to brew some tea. Good idea. I brewed some tea before just in case I want to mix with it. Your spouse has celiac. Oh man, that's rough.
Oh yeah, that is rough.
You do all this stuff. And it's not just wheat, rye, barley. I'm like, a lot of stuff is made with that. I love a good rye loaf. I love things made with rye, like rye. You know?
But yeah, now if you like really, really can't have it, like Amy or Carolyn's spouse,
you have to watch everything.
Yeah.
Like a hawk.
Yeah, I mean, because it's...
And you go to a place, you have to talk to them about, well, what's in this, and what is put in this, and what's in the sauce that's on top. I mean, I've been to places where people were like, is this actually vegetarian? Sure. But then the sauce isn't.
Right.
And you're like, well, what were you thinking calling this vegetarian?
I don't know if it's...
when the sauce
is
isn't.
it still like that? I mean, maybe some places, but I feel like lately, I don't know. I don't have an issue, but like, are places more attuned now than they used to be?
But if you're advertising that it's like, this is like wheat-free, soy-free, it's like,
Kelly's...
it really needs to be completely out.
Special medicine.
The mayo can't have like a soy oil in it. And that's a real problem. Some of these things will do that.
Oh, I like this one better.
Even better.
So this was 2 ounces rye, ½ ounce Barrow's Intense Ginger Liqueur, ½ ounce sour cherry liqueur, 3/4 ounce fresh lemon juice, 3 dashes aromatic bitters, 3 dashes orange bitters. I like this one better.
Ping. I thought it was better than it was. Boom, done. Now, did we actually change up? Why we're chopping our heads off right now?
Scroll.
Oh, that's why. Good, my fault. Well, I'm glad to be stupid because otherwise I'd have to adjust this.
Dare to be stupid.
Otherwise I'd have to go adjust that the way that I readjusted it stupidly, and that's the thing. Just checking out these things here.
Oh.
Yeah, good vote for that bottle stopper, which is nice. And we got a couple of votes for
thank you. The house dress.
A couple votes for phone freaking back in the day. Now we're talking some hacking going on. That involved
thank you, Amy.
Tones, which is funny. Yeah. And we have a notation here about AJ. Mrs. Roper's always trying to seduce her oblivious husband. True. Like, what the hell was Stanley's problem?
Yeah, this one is like kind of down to my knees, but I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I have a pink one. I have a pink one and a yellow one.
Nicely quilted. Yeah.
They all came from the same thrift store. Strangely. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, so Gettysburg. I think we did watch that because they were talking about the food that built America. There was a thing about Heinz.
Oh, and, yeah.
One of his first products was ketchup to cover up, like, icky meat.
Yes.
And like what people had to eat. And I think in that era, if you didn't see the cow being slaughtered, you didn't want the steak. Really, it was pretty bad. It's like, I'll just eat vegetables. Yeah, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
I grew them in my garden. That would have been wise. Well, many people did.
Yeah.
Many people did, but people were eating pretty bad stuff, and that's why there was the indigestion was common, and that's why there were so many bitters on the market, stomach bitters.
Yeah.
And you had these things we have in tiny bottles called cocktail bitters would have been in a much larger bottle, and you would take a whole shot of it.
You can get a huge bottle of Angostura bitters at our international market.
You can.
We should do that, actually.
No, it's still a cocktail bitters. You're not supposed to take a shot of it.
Yeah.
And back then, I'm thinking of the era where you would have like a digestive that was a whole thing. And one of the few remnants of that is a product that you can get in tiny little bottles, and we had some of them. I'm forgetting it's Austrian, I think.
The Underberg?
Underberg Digestive.
Yeah.
You taste that and you're like, gee, it tastes like a hell of a lot like Angostura. but you're supposed to suck down that whole bottle. And that's designed to like inspire your stomach to digest a little better. And what's the other one? Unicum and Swack, I think, or that's the same product, are designed as to be a digestive type thing. There's a lot of all of these products on the market, liqueurs, that are really infusions that are designed to kick the digestion into gear. One of the ideas being bitter substances your body like treats as poison and moves them along. So there you go.
Well, I don't know what it is, but I probably like 6 months ago now, I went into a chain store. I won't say which, but it's not a chain store I ordinarily go into. And the first thing you saw upon entering was a whole aisle where both sides of it were all like digestive aids and probiotics and just things to help with digestion. And I just thought, like,
your large intestine there.
Are people having that much trouble? And clearly the answer is yes, but
because these products are on the market. Yeah, I mean,
what is it? The answer is yes.
What is it with modern society that gives us all indigestion?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the question that's been asked for a very long time. So
yeah,
there you go. But... so you're here for the little thing that will help with that process, right?
Oh, you're going to make me jealous. Aw. You could easily make this yourself.
Luden's cough drops, those were actually pretty good.
I sucked down a couple of cough drops today.
Yep. They had that extremely specific fake cherry taste that I just associate with cherry, It's
Luden's were the
very aggressive.
It was a long time before I realized there were cough drops that weren't Luden's.
They weren't Luden's. Well, there were Sucrets. I remember having those as a kid.
Oh, Sucrets, yeah. Oh, we definitely had Sucrets.
Yeah. The Sucrets were very medicinal, and you could taste the stuff that was in there.
Sucrets.
That's why they were so heavy cherry, because the stuff that was in them tasted horrible. So.
Yeah, you did. You saved the container.
Yep, like Altoids.
Yep.
And you would put stuff in there. Probably.
You made a speaker out of an Altoids container.
I did.
Didn't you?
No, I didn't do that. But I've seen that done.
I thought you didn't. You made something out of an Altoids container.
I'm intending to make a little headphone amplifier out of it.
Oh, okay, that was it.
Altoids, yeah. That's actually a classic electronic hack, and the parts are actually pretty inexpensive, and they're very high quality, and it's a great little thing to do with your Altoids tent. Of course, it's extremely cramped, and you need to fit a couple of 9-volt batteries in there. So there you go.
Man.
Oh, and here we go for stashing other things in the Sucret tins. You don't have to stash that stuff anymore these days.
Well, not in New York.
Not in New York State. Not in Massachusetts. Yeah. Not in Vermont. Of course, I think New Hampshire, that's all still a problem. So
those chain stores. Those
little metal boxes.
Links. Oh, God.
They were actually extremely useful and extremely sturdy little metal boxes. And I think that if you're trying to store small parts.
Oh, my gosh.
Like suppose you worked with jewelry or you work on an electronic bench or something. Tiny little screws, tiny little beads, stuff like that. It's like, that's kind of great to have a uniform size box that fits everything. You just put a label on it and boom. I have a box of drill bits on the workbench, the wood workbench. That was my grandfather's, and it is an Edgeworth tobacco tin. And he did that more than once, but this one simply has a label on it that says drill bits, and it's a blue box. It's a much thicker box than Sucrets, and it's got all of these bits. And I'm like, he finished with the box of pipe tobacco, and he said, "This is a great sturdy box." Bang.
Oh, Kitty Spring says, I used a Sucrets tin once for a diorama in school. Oh my God.
That's like the cutest diorama ever.
Yeah. I keep thinking the spam figgy pudding. I made a tree topper out of one of the spam figgy pudding cans. And I was thinking we should save spam cans and make Christmas ornaments out of them. Because we have so many empty spam cans that I've made into ornaments for trees. I'm like, I could sell these.
Do something with this sort of stuff,
Jeez.
I'm just saying.
Because that's what I need, another project.
Another project in my life. Could you get me the standard Angostura, please? I'm going to do something extremely simple and extremely good and will be good for, my throat. So,
all right, well, hand me the computer.
Old-fashioned glass.
All right.
Ice it.
What are you doing?
I'm doing something that's so simple you can barely call it a cocktail. Give me a couple of dashes of the bitters. Let it hang out on the ice for a second.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I'm taking this down.
Dictation, please. I'll take the barrels and tins. You know, the manufacturer of barrels, we met in New Orleans and actually had a nice lunch with him, and he was talking about the product, and he says, you know, one of my favorite things to do with this stuff is to pour it over ice, and that's your drink.
Oh, it's great over ice.
So I'm giving myself like a good 3 fingers worth. 3 fingers, of course, is measured this way, not this way. Unless you're in Scotland, I think, where they say, like, well, it depends on how you hold your fingers there. So, they're lad. So,
all right, is that it?
And that's it. Oh, I'm gonna add some peel. I'll give it a little bit of, the zazz.
All right, I'm gonna call this the ginger cure.
Ginger cure. If this doesn't cure you, then Barrows is not doing their job. But guess what? Barrows is doing its job. Their product is so good. If I kind of like sing their praises repeatedly, it's because we saw them make it. It's all fresh ginger.
Yeah.
They just macerate it, and then they throw it into some high proof, and it just like
leaches
out all of that good gingerness. They use 2 kinds of ginger, and you taste the product, you're like, wow,
you never knew that much ginger existed. Like they throw so much ginger into that machine.
It's delicious. It's just an amazing product.
Hi, Eric Tiki.
Right now, it tastes like the best cough medicine I could.
And a shot of Malort. I would take a shot of Malort right now, honestly.
I would.
I would be all about that.
It couldn't hurt, you know.
Oh, wait.
All that, like, heavy bitterness actually kind of helps things.
Spam Jello mold. I would try that, too.
I'm going to do one thing to this. I'm going to add a little lemon juice.
And hi, David. Good to see you. My dad used to smoke Ails cigars. Is it?
Eyebold. Oh, I have no idea. That does not sound familiar.
I remember cigar boxes, though.
I remember my uncle smoking cigars.
Oh, the spam piggy pig, yeah.
And he was like a Dutch masters man. So you had this picture of these guys with like black suits and tall hats, the Dutch masters, and El Producto. Yikes. Dutch Masters and El Producto.
Bill says spam is now $5 a can. Yikes.
Boing! I'm just saying.
Oh, stuffed spam tins with a bottle brush trees and mini glass vintage ornaments. Yes!
Well, that's super cute.
Aw, I think I might just do it and give it to my friends. I can't imagine turning it into a business because I have a film to finish. But
that's a beautiful thing.
But maybe everyone will get a spam can ornament for Christmas next year.
Who knows what evil lurks?
My dad has some tools. Prince Albert can. I can't let him out. Oh,
I let him out. That's the joke.
Oh, I let him out. No, that was the crank call. Do you have Prince Albert in a can?
You need the first part of it. Do you have Prince Albert in a can?
Yeah, you gotta let him out.
Gotta let him out. You know, Albert. My naughty German sausage.
Empty tiki punch cans that I turn into stars. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
No, there's no gimbals anymore, sadly.
Oh, jeez. It's been a long time since gimbals. I remember early 90s, you still had, what was that chain? It was a really discount chain that was similar to gimbals, but cheaper.
Oh, yeah, Eric, have fun at Inuhele.
Alexander's. There was still an Alexander's.
You can have an amazing time.
Yeah, but they went out too, because all those chains were on the way. Really, of that era and of that type of store, you've kind of just got left Macy's. And the flagship store, the massive store on 34th Street, still there, still doing it. I mean, from time to time, I think they need an infusion of cash to keep still doing it, but it's an institution. A lot of Macy's around the country have closed, but that's, the department store itself is a bit of an endangered species. So it's good if at least some vestige of that can keep going.
I've never been in Macy's when there haven't been people there. Macy's is your refrigerator running? Oh, yeah. I know.
Massive tourist destination. And, of course, it's around Christmas they have Santa's Village. And you really got to go and see and say hi. So, self-driving
Cheese Tin has a pinup girl with a butter churn. America's Dairyland, Wisconsin cheese from Gimbel's. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, wow. Oh, amazing. Yeah. I've seen some interesting tins kicking around. Things that were repurposed for other purposes. There was a box that used to have an Old Spice set. I think it was like the talcum powder and the shaving soap, and that was repurposed into something to hold the grommet pliers and a bunch of grommets. And I remember like seeing that as a kid. I was like, "What do you do with this?" Well, you put grommets in things. Oh, yeah. Then later, when you actually start working a jewelry bench or a wood bench, you're like, "Oh, I know what that does," and you're like, "Yeah, I want one of those."
I'm still like, I just had to pop back over to Facebook to see if anyone's like, where are they?
Just because you're a glutton for punishment?
Because I'm a glutton for punishment. And yeah, we're still totally live on Facebook and no one can see
Hi,
it.
Facebook, and it's all us. It is.
I just closed it. I'm like, I'm sorry, but I
tired
can't.
Of this. This is like not happening. I'll take that spray, please. Yes. Yes. Oh, I know.
Corvettes. Peter remembers Corvettes.
EJ Corvettes. Oh, yeah.
Bill says, I'm waiting for Wally Mart to close down. I feel like Wally Mart is a name.
You'll be waiting around for a while.
Oh, God. The juggernaut.
EJ Corvettes, of course, was an institution around the country. Definitely an East Coast phenomenon. And
we did not have Corvettes.
Yeah, you didn't
where
have
I
Corvettes. There's two things I remember about Corvettes. Circa college years, if you go in, they actually had a huge selection of motion picture stuff. So when I was a young film student shooting Super 8, they had editors and splicing tape and solution and all sort of things. Yeah. They had good stuff. And I was like, wow, they were stocked.
Wally World.
They had projectors and things. And I bet in the 70s they would have been awesome for that kind of stuff. But I've also heard from people within the music world that back in the day in New York, if you wanted to get something and you wanted to find a store that had everything, the record department had Sam Goody and EJ Corvettes.
Oh,
like
okay.
Sam Goody had everything, and Corvettes
Goody's got it.
had it. Goody's got it.
That was
and Corvettes could get everything. Now, in my day, I remember Goody, and Goody did not have it all.
Oh, but Gibsons. Do you remember Gibsons?
Gibsons. No, I don't remember Gibsons. In the Midwest, you had Hudsons. And, of course, in Cleveland, you had Higbee's, as featured in the movie.
Karen says, I would like to get some vintage stuff from Red Owl. And Bill says, our first discount store was Disco.
Disco.
Love that. So, David's saying, you remember Woolworths. There was still Woolworths in New York when I moved here.
Yeah. And the Woolworths in New York.
Yeah, that's how long ago I moved to New York.
Woolworths in New York, the flagship store was around 34th Street. It was massive. It was not in a terrific section of town, but it was near Penn Station and all the transportation.
Oh,
and they were just huge. And they had this incredible record selection for discount stuff, like secondhand stuff. Not secondhand stuff, but remaindered stuff. They used to actually be the location that would send that around to the satellite stores. And when I was a young record collector and I was checking out the $2 records over at Woolworth in South Kingstown, Rhode Island, that Woolworth got their directors from the main location. So it's like New York would send stuff down. You'd be finding all this crazy stuff for $2. And they were sealed. It was just like all cutouts. Like, that was a good way to go. Did pretty well. Got more than a few records in the collection that came from Woolworth. So, definitely got to credit them. Late in the game, we actually got a Caldor that was doing the same, and they had a really terrific selection. They were around for a couple of years.
Barbara says, I stole toy watches from Woolworths when I was 7. My mom had me go back and get arrested by the shopping center cop. Oh, man.
Oh, terrible. Well, that will teach you.
Karen says, I remember making Super 8 films in high school. The editors and reels for developing. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah. If you're black and white.
I know he does, yeah.
I've never developed any Super 8, but I can see you could do that yourself at the time. It's like still film. You could do Super 8 in color.
No, I feel like I've heard of it.
Black and white color. Let's see here. Record store that... Oh, Ails. I have not heard of Ails.
Why does that sound familiar to me, Eric? Because I did not...
Yep.
Oh, David said we have Peaches. Where was Peaches? Where were you? We had the Warehouse and Licorice Pizza. Oh, yeah, we have a Woolworths building in New York City. Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
And there's a note I bought there for Ben Franklin's. There is a
Monkey wards.
There is a Ben Franklin building just in our town. Like
yes.
Literally 3/4 of a mile from here. You take a look at the building, and there's the Ben's. It's like halfway up the building.
It's been a million different businesses since we moved here, but like there are like little phrases of Ben Franklin all around it.
It has in our time.
Oh, Cincinnati. Okay, got it.
It has never been a Ben Franklin in our time, but it sure was.
Peaches. I never had peaches.
Peaches.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, we had the Warehouse
Yep.
and Licorice Pizza, and then later we had Tower Records, but it was really Warehouse and Licorice Pizza when I was a kid.
There's a whole documentary about Tower, and I tell you, it's really sad what happened with that whole thing because I remember going in there in college years, and they were intense. They really
Record
did have it all.
Town sounds fun.
They really did have it all. You could just spend hours in Tower, and that was the idea. But they were trying to be like the best damn stocked thing that there was. And there's a great thing about when they opened their San Francisco store, and it just became this like locus. Like people would just go there and shop and hang out and talk and just talk music for hours. And then musicians would show up to the Los Angeles location, and they would just go in and spend hours. And like Elton John comes in with his entourage, and he buys 100 things.
Strawberries.
I was about to say.
Yes, Amy.
I was just about to name check strawberries and say, I bet Ms. Prohaska remembers those strawberries. I remember them being not great on price, and frankly, they didn't have a whole ton of stuff, but they were everywhere. You could always find the strawberries. So if you wanted a cassette of like Depeche Mode, strawberries had it.
Monkey Wards had Electric Avenue. Thank you, Eddie Grant.
Funny.
And Eric says, it was also the only place I could get Laurie Anderson stuff. Okay. We had, besides Warehouse and Licorice Pizza, there was... I was too young to appreciate that. Never mind. Our drugstore, Save on Drug, had a record section. And then I remember Sears had a wall that had 45s. And then I remember JCPenney had a turntable that you could test records on. I thought that was really amazing.
That sounds unwise. Well, for singles, maybe it's okay.
Gettysburg Map, we did not see that. So I'm hoping that the price will come down. And by the time I've watched all the SAG Awards screeners, I can watch the Christmas Story movie for less money. But I'll still pay the $20 if it's not. I'll watch it in March. It's totally fine because I really, really, really want to see it. I watched the trailer and I'm obsessed. So yeah.
Yeah, the trailer looks really cool.
Yeah,
looks like a very like loving tribute.
Ooh, Northern Lights.
And
that sounds nice.
But also a unique production. That's kind of
Sound Warehouse. Rexall.
Yeah. We had
Eric. Where were you located?
Yeah, just a question about that.
I'm just curious because he grew up in Rhode Island, so
cut my teeth there.
I gotta see, like Amy and Paul have similar.
In town, I don't think there was a place to buy records that was a record store.
Bobby, John, what? Your sister won. What did she win?
Oh, yeah.
I might have voted for her.
Slap that down here, son.
Let us know who your sister is, Bobby John, because maybe I voted for her.
Hello. When I was very young, we didn't actually have a dedicated record store, but all the department stores
Dallas.
had them.
Okay, Dallas. Okay, we have friends in Dallas. So.
Yeah, we do, in fact. Yeah.
Well, you're a friend.
DFW, anyway. But definitely. And I'm thinking about what we did have was that you could go into the Zayre store and buy 45s, and those were the first records I bought. I remember going in to buy there was a 70s label Beatles record of the Sgt. Pepper main title, and then Day in the Life on the flip side. This was the first time it had been issued on a 45. It was not issued in the 60s.
Strawberries was also a ticket outlet. So you could go there or
Lechmere.
go to Lechmere, which
Oh.
also sold tickets to shows.
If you're trying to go see the Circle Jerks opening up for the
I wonder if the Warehouse had
GBH.
tickets too. That sounds kind of familiar to me.
Big fun. That could be. But I remember also picking up a copy of the Blues Brothers doing Rubber Biscuit. And the flip side was a song called B-Movie Boxcar Blues. And realized years later, that's actually a song that was written by, I think, Delbert McClinton.
Wait,
I could be wrong, but it's somebody like that. And I was like, that was a real song. Didn't know that at the time.
Oh, I was going to say...
Warehouse Entertainment.
I was searching on Warehouse, and I'm like, is it still in existence?
Mm-hmm. It is the Warehouse.
Oh, they were converted to the FYE brand.
Oh, I've seen that brand.
That's in our mall.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, we've seen FYE. So there's your Warehouse.
Gosh.
Right there.
Goodies. Yeah, Goodies got it.
You know, in the day, 60s, 70s, I think Goody did have it. They had everything. They had everything. And
yeah, I remember Sam Goodies too.
I'm thinking of stores in my time that used to have all of that stuff. And, you know, I had to start ranging further out. Oh, man. Cold medicine.
I'll live.
I had to start ranging out further. And you really had to go farther south than I was and farther north. And you could go to Woolworths. But there was also a good store in South Kingstown. And then you'd have to go as far as like Providence and Pawtucket. There was a store in Pawtucket called Luke's.
Oh, I've been to Luke's.
You've been to Luke's.
Man,
Luke's was just cramped.
Luke's lasted into our relationship.
Oh, yeah. Luke's was dusty and dingy, and he had a ton of stuff. And he had a great bin with some really cheap singles. So that was actually well worth your time. And then the Providence stores, it's like, well, you know, it's not a big college town. Move on that. I'm making a gag about, about the movie. And they had great record stores. They were all on Thayer Street. It was right near the college. It was right near Brown University, which is right near other universities, frankly. But it was a very urban and very hip environment.
I feel like RISD must have been nearby.
RISD was up the hill.
Okay.
It's like, or down the hill, depending where you were. From Brown, it was down the hill.
Okay.
A pretty steep hill, too, as I recall. I remember climbing that to go to Brown to take classes when I was a high school student. But there were a couple of great joints to go to. There was a joint called Looney Tunes and a joint called Round Again. And they both had a ton of stuff. I mean, they weren't the best stock things ever, but
collectible
type stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Sagging.
I thought she was eligible. I thought she won a SAG award. I'm like, maybe I voted for her in a category.
Yeah, I remember buying this because like the Blues Brothers were like a big thing, and I'm listening to this, and it's just all this jive. It's just like, the other day, I had a cool water sandwich, and the Sunday go to meat tin bun. Wow. And it's just, what the hell is this? You know, it was just crazy damn record for a kid. Years later, you're like, oh, that's just a great R&B record by a group called the Chips, and it's just nonsense. These guys are just they're just jiving you the whole time. It's a really cool, fun thing. The flip side is actually a really good tune.
Yes, we'll all win one eventually.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Amen.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
I won that award.
I've had that.
Oh, Time Wind.
Klaus Schulze. Oh, okay. Speaking of
I remember that. I definitely remember going. Okay. True confession time. I grew up in Southern California, and I was a mall rat. You know, like I grew up going to the mall. So when I moved to New York, I was in for some deep
culture shock.
Yeah, some deep culture shock when I moved. Because New York wasn't mall-ified like it is now.
Not at the time.
Nope. So any store I could find that was anything that resembled a mall store, I was all about that. So I spent a fair amount of time in Sam Goody. And I remember especially buying VHS tapes there.
That was a big thing then. Yeah, big category.
Yeah, and I had a VHS player. So.
Yeah, tape player.
Yeah, and I was all about my movies. So I remember I bought Citizen Kane. Sam Goody. I'm such a dork.
The classics.
Like all these people are like, I bought this cool thing at Sam Goody's. I'm like, I bought Citizen Kane and Laura. You know.
I just bought Cocktail with Tom Cruise at Sam Goody. You know, you bought Citizen Kane.
I did not buy Cocktail with Tom Cruise.
Cocktail with Tom Cruise.
I don't think that was out yet, but
oh
no, it probably was.
It was out.
That was out.
It was. It should have been cheap at the time. You would have been going to Goody in New York. It should have been.
I'm
cheap.
like buying Katharine Hepburn films, and other people are like buying cool, weird music.
You're bringing up Baby and stuff like that.
Everybody's records. Oh, I love that idea, Dave. Can I call you Dave?
Yep.
Sorry.
You just walk in there and say,
like, no, I'm David.
Like
yeah.
You know.
Oh, buying a 45 and didn't have the plastic disc in the... Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Well, there were two things back in the day because everybody had a record changer, and others said BSR or Garrard. Those are two British companies that made all the turntables in the known universe. They were all made. I grew up with one. It was a Garrard. It was a totally solid machine. I think we might even still have it. But it needs some work, but you can get it going. It'll play records like mad. And I recall there were two things you would do. You would either put the little spider in the middle of the record, the 45 spider, and play it. Or you got like the cylinder that would drop down over the big spindle.
Is that why they call it 45 spider?
Yes. 45 spiders named after that. And you would have this like cylinder that would drop down on the thing. And now that I recall, I'm thinking of the colors. The one that we had was actually a Voice of Music cylinder. And you would stack your 45s on that. And then like the little mechanism would trip it and drop 145 at a time and play them.
I remember seeing a Voice of Music one time. And I think I was like in a heightened emotional state. So I just remember saying to Tom, like, what's a vom?
What's a vom? I said, well, it's a...
What's a vom?
Well, you know. Amazing.
Oh my gosh. The electric fetus.
The electric fetus.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a lot of variation on those. There was a really cheap version of it that was like kind of flat plastic. It really didn't work that well. The cylinder's a better idea.
Oh, I love Bringing Up Baby too.
Bam did it.
Yes.
If you have one of these vintage like devices and you need needles and supplies, there's a site called voiceofmusic.com where this very fanatic person has actually got all the replacement parts, and he can tell you about your VOM.
Got a cough again.
Voice of Music, I believe, was Midwest company. I think they were Chicago-based. They made some really, really incredible material back in the day. Some great sound systems, you know, a lot of portables that were pretty good, and like really small players that would play your records. A lot of fun.
Oh, Gettysburg Ma'am says, my first 45 was Rick Springfield's Jessie's Girl. I remember...
That's pop top 40 right there.
I do not remember the first, but I will say I remember buying Copacabana. And, you know, it was always like my sister was buying it or I was buying it. But, like, there was one collection, you know. It was like everything went into the collection. It's, you know, like, well, this is hers. This is yours. I don't know. It was kind of everyone's, but...
Yep.
Someone bought Copacabana, and someone bought Andy Gibb Shadow Dancing.
That's the big two.
You're welcome.
Yep, just so you know. I remember my sister had 45s of a lot of things that people had given her. And we did have some fun stuff. Like there was a 45 from the Star Wars Christmas record called What Can You Get a Wookiee for Christmas?
Oh, jeez.
When he already owns a comb. And the truth is, it's a very good question because I don't know what you get like this large sort of like bipedal simian type who's extremely hairy if he already has grooming devices. Maybe a hair trimmer or something like by Wall. They're pretty inexpensive. They're very nice machines. I'm just saying. Get them one of those. And she had that, and there was a 45 called "I Need Your Help, Barry Manilow" by Ray Stevens. You know Ray Stevens. He's the guy who did The Streak and all those.
My fevered brain hurt.
Songs.
My fevered brain hurt. I need your help burying Manilow.
No, don't bury Manilow, man. He's a classic. I'm telling you. Well,
He's an American institution.
She was a huge Barry fan, so somebody got her this single because it looked like a good gag, right? But I remember listening to this, and it was actually really funny because it's like a total takeoff of a Barry Manilow song. I still
love "Don't Bring Me Down."
Oh, there you go. That's just like that's a killer.
Oh yeah, Bill. Leslie Gore. I love Leslie Gore.
She was from New Jersey, as I recall properly, and she was huge.
Yeah.
She's on we have a DVD of the Tammy Show. That's a teenage awards show from 1964. She was one of the biggest stars on that show. Yep. And she's really, really good on that show. And that show features like James Brown and the Beach Boys. So that's like, you know, she's really standing up to all that stuff. Bill, I imagine your collection has a 45 of a song by a San Francisco group that was four brothers and their drummer called Time Has Come Today. I bet you had that on a 45. I think I've got that, but I definitely have the album. And I like the album version better because it goes on for a while. It's really good. But That'd be the Chambers Brothers, and they were San Francisco.
Oh, you'll enjoy this.
Icons.
Bobby says,
just great.
When I played in a band, we had to get the lyrics off the record. That was a treat. Sometimes the words were not what they seemed.
Oh, seriously. You're listening, you're trying to parse this stuff out. Like, what? What? Who? Funny.
Oh, my God. Oh, Lisa says, back in the 70s, my older sister had 45s, and I would go into her room and play her records. She found out, and she removed all her plastic centers, and that didn't stop me. I knew how to play them.
I figured it out.
Well.
Oh, man.
Trying to write down the lyrics to Bohemian Rhapsody.
They were trying to get you to buy the record, which has the lyrics printed inside.
There's I love Scopatones.
Oh, yeah.
Love Scopatones, Eric.
Scopatones, by the way, is the second coming of music video. The first one was the Soundies from the 40s. You can see people like Fats Waller doing a Scopatone. No, doing a Soundie in 1942. And they're amazing. They're really amazing. Scopatones actually took advantage of 60mm film. They were on a sort of a cartridge and a player. I think an Italian company invented those things. And it would just be this video jukebox in the back of the bar.
Oh,
and you put in like 50 cents and get
Donna
a song.
Lauren. We didn't. She was at Tiki Oasis when we were there, but we didn't meet her. We saw her, but we didn't meet her. Did you meet her?
I menaced her as a monster because that was the theme.
I didn't meet her, but we saw her. She was great.
I had to do this business, and she did the so we got some good pictures out there somewhere. She was. We do have some good video of her live if you go to the Captain Quad page up on this very channel up on YouTube. You should be able to find some great music videos, and there's some Donna Lauren, and we've got some good hits on that. That's a lot of love for Donna on that. But that was at Tiki Oasis, and she does. I think I got the medley of It Only Hurts When I Cry, which is really good. You know.
Oh my gosh, Mikhail says, my first record was Strawberry Shortcake's Dance, Dance, Dance. My parents had terrible regrets about them teaching me how to work the record player Saturday mornings.
Oh my.
Oh man, I love that.
I tell you, they could have been much worse. You could have had like some total like rip-off disco
Paradise by the Dashboard Light.
Oh, there we go.
Oh yeah, Sammy's like Cab Calloway. Exactly. Yes.
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 Cab should have been in some Soundies. They were.
Oh, Bill, sounds like you and Paul might have similar collections.
That sounds about right.
Yeah,
absolutely. I got to imagine that of the correct era and of things you might have been listening to, there's certain things that you should have and would have, and there's things that I listen to pretty constantly. That first Chambers Brothers album on Columbia is just amazing, and the album cuts are just awesome. They are so spot on. You want a great version of Midnight Hour? Well, I'm going to turn to them and not the Wicked Picket, and that's saying a lot. That really is. They're intense.
Still having our vinyl collection.
Hello.
Love it.
Yep. Well, just because I know where these things are, I should go and pick something up and show everybody.
Something fun.
It is something fun. It's something very fun. Absolutely.
We're going to find Strawberry Shortcake's Dance, Dance, Dance on YouTube. Do it.
Yeah, drop it here so people can actually listen.
What's handy that you can lay your hands on easily?
For what?
Oh, I thought you were looking for records.
Oh no, I was looking. We've been talking about these things, and you know what? What are these things anyway?
I had no idea that was what 45
These are the
Spider
little
was.
plastic inserts you'd put on a 45 to play it on your player, and these will work on the record changer, although they're slightly fragile, and I think that. They're fun, and I've heard them referred to as a 45 Spider because they have these sort of arms that come out. It's kind of fun. This is a little pack of about 5 of them, I think, and is listed as 50 cents.
David got to meet Bill Medley from the Righteous Brothers.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing.
That's kind of fun. I believe only one of them is still around, so I don't know which one, but they had huge hits,
of course. Hold on. Kitty's Remember says, I recently thought I struck gold at the thrift store. Was going through an old vinyl basket, flipped through to find the original Steve Miller Band's greatest hits albums. Jacket, no vinyl.
Oh. Well, here's the positive side of that. Just because somebody lost the record there, wah. But that record sold 1 billion copies. So if you look around, and you don't have to look that hard, you'll find it. There's 2 collections that are worth anything from that period. Like I think it's I forget, I think it's just called Greatest Hits on Steve. But there's also one called, is it called, there's a 2-record set that's a collection of his really early stuff. Black and white cover. I need to look that up.
So, okay.
That's actually a pretty good record.
I just love Mikhail saying, guessing Bobby does not like that I claim the vinyl collection is ours. I do that too.
You know? Yeah, big fun.
Yeah, Bill Medley. Try to sing that 5 times fast.
Oh,
several times.
Bill Medley.
Do the plastic things have a name besides 45 Spider?
I had never referred to them as that when I was a kid, but there's a band called 45 Spider.
Yes.
And as soon as I heard that, I'm like, oh, that's what those are. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm not the only one that was like, oh, wow, okay, 45 Spider. Because I love 45 Spider, the band, but I did not realize they were named after
they're taking it after
thingy.
The little
the
widget.
Thingy.
By the way, I carry one of those in my wallet because the DJ was telling me that he carried one in his wallet, and I thought, I should do that. Because there's been times when I didn't actually have it, and I was trying to play a 45 on a turntable.
Sheridan stood next to David Bowie.
Dave! Oh, wow.
I waited in a restroom line after Fred Schneider. That's absolutely true.
This is true. You were there.
100%.
That was at that thrift store, wasn't it? Yeah.
That was at the City Opera thrift store.
As a matter of fact.
And we also saw him another time at a different thrift store.
And he used to come into the store I worked at, and he would go through records.
So all of my Fred Schneider encounters were in thrift stores, but...
It usually involves records. I guess he's just a big fiend, you know? I tell you.
What are those called, though?
What's that?
The inserts.
Well, I think when I was a kid, it was simply called a 45 RPM adapter. That was it. Okay. You're accounting for the fact that the turntable may not actually have the pop-up that fits the inside of the record. The large hole was designed to fit the large, a hole on the early RCA players from the very early 1950s that would play 45s and change them very fast. They had a changing mechanism where you would have 6 45s that would make up a whole album, and you'd stack them up, and they were stacked so that you would play them, flip them, and play them again to get the whole album. If you're playing South Pacific or something, you would do that. It was designed to change them really fast so that you would just be like, oh, okay, sure. And they're pretty good players, although they're a little hard on the records because they try kind of hard. So, talk to Brian Eno.
I gotta catch up.
Oh, yeah.
Talk to Brian Eno. Yeah, that would be fun.
Top Percussion by Tito Puente. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
That sounds pretty awesome. Jeez. That's like Tito Puente, Tito Rodriguez, Bobby Cruz. Wow. Let's see. Oh, funny.
We're just catching up on your comments.
10th row at an Elvis concert in Dayton.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to assume that we are not talking 1957 or something. We're probably talking more like 1976. In which period this would have been not just seeing Elvis Presley. This would have been capital letters, the Elvis show. That big orchestra, the backup singers, and he comes out in the big jumpsuit, the big karate suit doing karate moves. And it was just this big splashy thing. It was huge. When he decided, I'm going to be on tour again, he never left. It's kind of like he was making up for lost time. Mm-hmm. And he did it pretty hard. And those shows, there's some great concert films out there that are definitely worth the time.
I love that you saw Elvis.
That's something
that's just
very unique
incredible.
And cool.
Yes.
Within the period, he toured a lot. You had opportunities to see him. But honestly, in the 70s, he only had about 6 or 7 years to do it. And so if you were able to, that's a special thing.
Oh, I wish I had a camera, right?
Oh, I know. Where's my video recorder when I need it,
Yes, and R.I.P. Lisa Marie. I know.
Oh, yeah.
That was so... I don't want to bring this down.
Unexpected, sad.
That was just sad.
What can I tell you?
Because we've been to Graceland, and the whole, thing when you get there is, you can get a recording that you listen to when you're taking a tour, and it's hi, this is Lisa Marie Presley. Welcome to my home. And I'm like, oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Dang.
Make you very self-conscious. I remember you got
you
got very touched by seeing some of the things around Graceland at the time.
And she's being buried in Graceland.
Well, of course.
Like her son. I'm like, oh God, it's so sad. Oh.
I tell you,
Yeah.
these things. But the entertainers who did it, and you can see in the Elvis films that he was very generous with the audience. Like he's really working it kind of like Tom Jones. Like he knows that he's there for the fans, and the ladies in the front are going just hysterical because of this, and it's like he's working it properly. You know, take care of people. Harry Belafonte, wow.
She did look a lot like her dad.
Yeah.
I gotta say, like, she really, she favored her dad. Right. Well, I'm not gonna do anything crazy, but we're still live.
We, in fact, are.
And I don't have a drink. I'm gonna have some water. I'm gonna have some water.
Yep.
And then I think I might top up one of these.
I'm doing the same.
One of these
moving
lovely
some
libations.
glasses around so that I'm not going to knock anything out, because I just need to be able to go.
Harry Belafonte, I saw it. Yes, yes to everything. Yes to everything. Yes.
Yes to a lot. You know,
Harry. I was on a webinar recently with Sherry Belafonte. Mm-hmm. Does anyone remember? Like, she was all over like 70s and 80s TV. Yeah. She's still acting.
Still kicking it. That's great stuff. You know, Harry was a massive
Night Peter.
Massively popular performer at the time. Same label as Elvis. He was as popular as Elvis, and certainly with the ladies, because he was just this very vibrant, very sexy guy on stage. I know a friend's mother who went to see him was just captivated and was in the audience when RCA recorded that at Carnegie Hall album.
I liked the second one I made better, so I'm going to do a smaller version of that.
There you go. So it was an occasion a while back where we were playing a few games, and it was vintage games, and I said, let's stick to very early 60s stuff. And one of the things that we decided to play was that Harry at Belafonte album. And
Harry at Belafonte?
Harry Belafonte at... Harry Belafonte, Carnegie Hall.
Where's Belafonte?
Oh, stop it. So,
I gotta bust you. That's what I do.
I'm sick in the head, I'm telling you. I'm sick in the head.
Oh, jeez.
Harry Belafonte, Carnegie Hall, the album RCA, 2-record set, sold a gazillion copies.
How hard was
there's
that?
a reason for... The reason that actually sold a gazillion copies. And that reason, well, listen to it and find out. Wow, that's intense. Great group. Great selection.
I'll tell you everything I'm doing in a minute.
He's at the top of the form, and he is really working the audience, and they are just responding. That's a really fantastic record. It sounds fabulous. It just sounds absolutely fabulous. So, recommended Harry Belafonte Carnegie Hall album. There's a few live records I could think of which just really kick it hard, and that is right there.
Hand me the spray and take that. Please.
I could actually do that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Waiter, would you get that?
Would you remove that? Thank you.
I believe we have Star O as a 45, and I really should listen to it more. But, Day of course, is the thing.
Right.
Daylight Come. 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch.
All right, I'm just making a sloppy version of the first one I made.
Sloppy Joe's bar?
No, second one I made. Second. This is Kelly's Special Medicine 2.
Was Sherry on It's a Living? Question from the audience. I don't think so.
I gotta Google that.
I don't think so, because I think who was on It's a Living was Thelma Hopkins.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right.
From Dawn.
I think you're right. Yes. Yes.
And I think she was on it when it was making a living and then changed.
Yes.
Transitioned
Yep.
to It's a
Yeah.
Living.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Harry's playing the drums with Animal on the Muppet Show. That's a classic. And then, of course, he does that fire song, which people remember really
But Sherry, she's on some show now that shoots in Atlanta.
So she's
Ask me why I know this.
She's kicking it.
Because it was a SAG webinar that I was on.
Oh, here's a vote from Maria McCabe. Oh, yeah. Yeah, she was really hot stuff at the time.
Can you hand me a strainer, please?
I have this one.
That's great.
That'll work.
That'll work.
There you go.
Thank you.
Got a vote for the television special Elvis.
Oh my gosh.
Elvis. is what it's called.
Yes.
Nobody knew at the time what was going to happen with it, but he kind of thought it would kick things back. Well, it did what it was supposed to. Yeah. That's a really great soundtrack album. And it's got some stuff that was recorded live and some stuff that was really designed to be more of a studio setting. All those, like, set pieces that they do. I don't mind at all.
Thank you.
Let's do that kind of thing. So.
Do you need something?
Oh, I could probably use something. I'm kind of thinking of what I could use.
Oh, Doris Day. Yeah, I love Doris Day.
Oh, there we go. Yep. Turn the world around. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I was like, you need to get in here because I'm like, I've lost track. All right, I've caught up.
Definitely good stuff. A lot of good memories about good television, good records, good performance, good things.
Mama Hopkins.
And I will.
She was on one of the Shaft tracks.
She is actually singing on the Shaft album as a backup singer. And
yes.
if I'm not mistaken, I have read, this could be apocryphal, that when Isaac Hayes says, they say that cat Shaft is a bad mother, the gal who says, shut your mouth, is Thelma Hopkins. So that's hilarious because
I love that.
It's such a great aside of the whole thing.
Mm.
We just watched Shaft and Shaft's Big Score.
Yes, from Tony Orlando and Dawn.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. So she was later with Dawn, and many big hits with them. And we're sitting there watching that opening sequence of Shaft with the theme kicking around and all these long tracking shots of him emerging from the subway and walking around Times Square. And it's like, this is why this was a huge hit movie. It just kicks you in the head right from the get-go. And with that theme, which was an Academy Award winner. And if you haven't seen Isaac Hayes in the 1972 Academy Awards performing that song, hie thee to the YouTubes where you are right now and check this out because your jaw will drop. This is like what happened to the Academies.
Did you already say this? David says, I have a picture of my dad and Doris Day when they were 7 years old and she grew up in Cincinnati.
Oh,
what?
No. Wow.
What?
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, that's very
amazing.
Cool stuff. Big fun, hey? And yeah, she did live to like a very advanced age. Did very well with that. She also got to a point where she was like, I'm done performing, I'm done public appearances and all that, and all she was doing was taking care of the animals. That's life.
Yep.
That's a good thing, eh? Of course, by the same token, I'm thinking to myself, if you could have had if she could have done like one more album at the time, that probably would have been really great. I'm thinking about people who've done an album much later in the career that works well.
Doris Marianne Kappelhoff.
That sounds like her. Yep.
Is that a Bridge Over Troubled Waters? Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
I think we might have her autobiography. We do have a book by her up in the attic.
We could. Yeah, we could.
I should go grab it. I've been obsessed with reading about women grifters lately. I'm reading about one currently from the 1700s.
Interesting segue. This has nothing to do with Doris Day.
Yeah, no. I'm talking about reading material.
Yep. Yeah. Big fun.
Oh, boy.
Oh, gotcha.
Easter Tender shows in San Mateo. Oh, Bill,
wow.
I love that.
Oh, that's cool.
A car accident stopped her from being a dancer.
Oh.
I did not know that.
Wow.
Oh.
Such things do happen.
Yes, Terry Melcher.
Terry Melcher.
Sheridan, yes.
He was a big producer for, are you ready? Paul Revere and the Raiders. Big vote for Paul Revere,
Well, and
man.
wasn't he one of the ones who, would have been around the Manson family?
He owned the house that was sold to
That's what
Roman
I'm thinking.
Polanski.
Yes, okay, that's what I was thinking.
So that was originally his house up there, and I don't know the address or anything. I'm not like a big aficionado of these details. There are some rumors about who the Manson family was actually attempting to hit that night, because of course they had been involved with the record industry. Charles had been shopped around various places, and yes, the Beach Boys performed one of his songs on their 2020 record. So it was definitely better than Hollywood at the time.
Cincinnati, yeah. I would love to see that picture, David. That sounds incredible.
While recovering from a car accident. Oh, jeez. These details you don't know until later. Yeah. I don't know.
He worked with the bird. Did he work with the birds?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But he definitely was with Columbia, so that
I know
is totally plausible.
Yeah, that's. I just know he was around that whole scene.
Yeah.
Have trouble sleeping? Yes, I do have trouble sleeping at night, Eric.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I keep telling Paul, if you want to kick me out of the room, you can, but he hasn't
not kicking
yet.
her out of anything. That's the thing. Nice.
Good night, Gettysburg, ma'am.
See you in no time.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll second that vote for Paul Revere. Wow, those records at the time were really high. They have 4 really big hits, but I'm going to recommend go way beyond that because for years beyond the really huge hits in the 60s, they actually were cutting just great stuff. Yeah. They and then of course they had a really big hit around 1971, and they had an album or two after that, which frankly I've listened to and they're worth listening to. They were basically a studio group, and the studio group was led by Mark, and the touring group was led by Paul. So that's what that was all about.
Yeah, Manson wanted to sell his music, so maybe he targeted Melcher. Yeah.
This is kind of a rumor.
Yeah.
The thing is that Melcher wasn't there, so you think, well, what the hell is this all about? And all I can say is you've got a lot of true crime books about that. The prosecutor wrote one; it's well known. Ed Sanders wrote a very fascinating book called The Family about this when he was taking a break from the Fugs. And then you have a little something from Quentin Tarantino, which deals with the same material.
I love that movie, and honestly.
It's
fight me, but I love that movie.
A love letter to Sharon Tate in Hollywood, in classic Hollywood.
I loved Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Fight me if you want, but
he does it in a Tarantino way. There is a lot of great vintage stuff, and then there's some crazy ultra violence. Be prepared, but I enjoyed it. I really did. I thought that it was actually very well done for what it was. So, and you know
so
what?
We got to catch up on some.
Sure.
I'm gonna let you take these.
Yep. In the documentary. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Oh, and a big vote for Kenny Rogers in the first edition. Yeah, the edition was, was, I think, several alumni from the New Christy Minstrels, including Kenny. And they decided to do a vocal group. And they were just in that sort of up-tempo pop vein. But they had a bunch of great hits. Ticket to Nowhere. Check that out. That one was a really big hit, but it's a really, really great song. And they ran through a couple of female singers, as a matter of fact.
Oh my gosh. David says, TV producers came from Germany, came to my dad when he was still alive to ask him to put him in their documentary. Oh my God, did they?
Yeah.
Short video. Oh, I would love to see that.
Yeah.
No pressure, but I would love to see that.
None whatsoever, but interested for such things, right?
Kenny Rogers was a family friend. Oh, Bill Harrell was a family friend. Okay. All right. Got it.
Kenny was a cool guy. Yeah, Kenny's...
oh, I know, Eric. This cough is
Oh, it's heavy.
I feel like I will never be done with this cough, which is just the most frustrating thing. But
he was a classic entertainer for years. He did a bunch of stuff with Dolly, of course. A couple of Christmas records, if I'm not mistaken.
Aww.
And interestingly enough, his brother Leland ran a recording studio and a label. And one of the big acts that he recorded in the mid-'60s was the 13th floor elevators.
Oh, geez.
So there's Kenny Rogers elevators connection. You don't really think of Kenny as an acid head, but, well, he wasn't. But he knew. He was around. He knew what was going on.
He wasn't an acid head, but he was around.
He was around Los Angeles and the music business. He knew what everything was. It's not like he was any dummy. So.
Oh.
Oh, wow. Jeez, that's fantastic.
To collect food for flood victims. I love that.
It's unfortunately something you're hearing about a lot these days because it's happening many places. Severe weather. Watch out for it. If you're in a susceptible area, you're going to get it. And that's the unfortunate thing I have to report. So. Oh, boy.
Is it that time?
It's about that time, don't you think?
All right.
A lot of great talk about entertainment and formats and things.
Some wild turkey bourbon and heat it up. And,
are you talking?
God, I know. It's bad, right?
Oldest ones in the clinic getting cured off the wild turkey.
I can't hide it anymore.
All sorts of fun talk about such fun topics as 45 spiders. This
I did not know until we were live tonight that was what 45 spider meant.
We have I've never heard that outside of the band, but I'm like, that's it. That's exactly it, man. And we, of course, had a record tree this past Christmas for the first time, which featured a lot of these things hanging on it. And some singles, because what the hell, they're fun. 45s are fun because, particularly vintage, like 50s, 60s, 45s.
Yeah, they are.
You can, like, play them on almost anything and they'll probably take it.
No.
Most of mine from that vintage.
Eric, I've been trying to inhale steam.
Yeah.
I have a steam inhaler, actually, so I can pull it out.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Oh, Arcade, you too. Everyone, have an amazing rest of your night.
Please. It's been a fabulous day. I've been fighting all of this business as best I can. Frankly, I think I sound a little better than when I started the broadcast.
Sound better than I do.
And so that means I'm managing. But I'm particularly woozy from the medication, and I think I'll go find. I'll go put the dishes away and go to bed. I think that's probably not where I'm destined tonight. Very exciting, right?
Yeah.
But we're just trying to manage this.
So glamorous at the Velveteen Lounge.
But I think I'll definitely grab another one of these things with the barrels because that felt really good going down. And I've got some dandelion root tea over there, which would be good for the purpose too.
Oh, thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Excellent. Okay, but definitely take care of that, Amy.
Yes. Everyone, stay healthy.
Fantastic that you could all join us here for a couple hours.
Please.
On a Wednesday, as always.
Yes.
Many of you support us via various sources. Thank you so much for doing so. If you would like to,
and you support us by being here.
Support us by being here.
So
if
thank
you would like to support us financially, of course, the Patreon page is there. The affiliate store with Amazon, and we still have records. So, as always, folks, been fantastic to see you.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us.
We will see you again in 7 short days.
We'll try to get Facebook back. I don't know what happened. When we go to Facebook, we still see ourselves live. So
it was totally there.
I don't know.
I mean, it's something.
I'm glad you could join us here on YouTube.
Something inane is going on, and I don't know what it is.
I know.
Maybe we'll bug it out.
Oh, thank you, everyone.
But please.
Good night. Please be healthy.
7 short days. We'll come up with another fun theme. We'll sock it to you.
Night.
We were talking about something about kids' cereals. Oh, there we go. Another theme. Who knows? As always, no matter where you are, no matter what you do, remember that we will see you soon.
Good night.